Only watch this video if you haven't been able to solve the exercise yourself. Watching a video is not going to teach you how to use Excel, but trying it out yourself is. Let's start with the first assignment here. We need to adjust the columns width to their content because we see here that sometimes maybe the original is like this. The content, the column is smaller than the content. So the way to do that here, for instance, you also see it for company car is you select all of the columns, right? You can do that with your mouse, or if you hold shift and then to the right, that's also possible. And then if you put your mouse cursor in between, right in between two columns, you see it becomes like a black line with two arrows in both ways. And if you then double click, you see that all the columns adjust to the content. You see here the one of age became very small. All right, we need to include people's age. So the way to do that is we're gonna say, I'm gonna write it, oh, here actually you see it already. There's a tip here. So today minus the birth date, that's the amount of days that that somebody is age is. So today, open close parent, today, not day, today, open close parentheses minus the birth date. That's the amount of days that somebody's age is. And then we're going to divide that by 365 in order to turn the days into years. Okay, copy it down. Now let's start with Countif. So Countif, we need to count how many employees work in the IT department. So in other words, we need to count how often the word IT appears in this range, because every line is an employee. So we need to count how often the word IT appears in this range. So we already indicated the range. Now we just have to say the criteria, and the criteria is IT. Let's do the same thing, but for operations. So Countif, tab, we select the range, and the criteria is operations. Enter. How many employees have a company car? So the company car, we find that the information about the company car is in column G. If it says no, then there's no company car. So we need to count how often we see the word yes in here. So Countif, the range starts here and ends there. And we're going to count how often we see the word yes. Okay, this was the formula. How many employees earn less than 2,000 euros? So that's about the salary. So we're going to count how often or how many salaries of these are smaller than 2,000. Countif, this is the range. And the criteria goes between quotation marks because there is a smaller than involved. There you go. How many employees earn more than 3,000? Let's do a Countif, the same range where the salary is. More than 3,000 goes between quotation marks because there's a bigger than involved. How many employees were born after the 1st of January 2000? So I'm gonna do a Countif again. We're looking for the birth dates. And the birth date we're looking for is bigger than, so they were born after the year 2000. have a look again at the formula. So instead of writing bigger than a number, you can also write bigger than a date. Okay. How many employees were born right on this date, the 31st of March, 83? So let's do a count if. We select the birth dates, and it is March 31st, 1983. Did that work? No. I'm gonna try to do that again. That didn't work. Let me try to use the quotation marks. Yes, okay. So apparently for a date you need the quotation marks. You see it's trial and error. You also noticed maybe how I was switching around the place of the month and the days. I have an American configuration on my laptop, so that's why the month comes first. Maybe on your computer it's different. That's also why I always put a comma. Maybe on your computer you need to put a semicolon. How many employees don't work for finance? Let's find out. So count if. We're gonna count how often we don't see the word finance. Yes. And we need to highlight the employees that were born on the same date. So we select all the dates, conditional formatting, and then in rules, you find here duplicate values. There you go. And let's see, yeah, there's 1 and 2 and 3 who were all born on the 31st of March, 1983.